Okay, guys, today it's Friday, September 26th. You have 2 minutes to copy down your problems, and then 2 minutes to solve your problems. So if my sub could set your timer, give them 2 minutes, pause the video, give them 2 minutes to solve, and then 2 minutes to write down their problems, 2 minutes to solve. So a total of 4 minutes. Walk around, make sure they're all writing down and actually solving. They may not use my calculators in the back because last week when I had a sub, somebody took my calculator. So they're going to have to do the work on their own. Go ahead and pause the video and give them 4 minutes. Okay, so the video should be unpaused, which means that you have solved. So let's check your answers. This is an equation. I know it's equation because I have an equal sign. I also have a variable that I need to solve for. So I'm going to do the inverse operation. It says x minus 5. So instead of subtracting 5, I'm going to add 5 to both sides. That is going to leave me with 1/4 x because my -5 and my +5 will cancel out. If you owe me $9 and you give me $5, you still owe me 4. My signs are not the same. I have a negative and a positive, therefore I'll subtract. 9 minus 5 is 4. And I have more negatives than I have positives, so it's -4. I'm left with 1/4 x equals -4. I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. -4 times 4, we didn't do this problem, but it ended up coming down to this at the end on Monday. -4 times 4 we found out was -16. So x equals -16. Then we have find the volume, of a cylinder. You have your hint up here. In order to find the area of the base, we're going to do area of the base equals r² times pi because my base is a circle. They gave me the diameter. The diameter is 3. To get my radius, I have to divide it by 2. 2 goes into 3 1.5 times. So I know that r equals 1.5. So I'm going to do base equals 1.5 to the power of 2 times pi, which is 3.14. 1.5 to the power of 2 is 2.25. And then we're going to do that times 3.14. Let me just double check it again to make sure I did it right. 1.5 to the power of 2 is 2.25 times 3.14, which gives me 7.065. I'm then going to do volume equals my area of my base, which is 7.065 times my height, and my height was 4. So times 4. So volume is going to equal 28 and 26/100 centimeters cubed. So that is our answer. Okay, please finish writing this down. You can go ahead and pause the video for a minute. Make sure, walk around that they all have it copied down. Then you're going to put your math review away and you're going to take out your agenda. Okay, once you have your agenda out, once you have your agenda out, we're going to copy down our agenda. Today we're doing a handout. It's on Google Classroom, Interior Angles of a Triangle. And your homework is going to be to finish that handout. So we're going to start it in class. You might get it finished. Whatever you do not finish will become homework. So go ahead and pause the video. Give them a minute to copy this. and then they can put their agenda away and get their Chromebooks out. So pause the video until everyone has their Chromebook out. Please go to Google Classroom, and you're going to open up the assignment that says interior angles of triangles. Okay, and we're going to do the guided notes together. There are a few we'll do together, and then I'll let you do the rest on your own. They're actually pretty simple. The ones towards the end are a little bit harder, so I'm going to pick a few in the beginning and a few at the end, and then you can use the rest of the class to solve the other problems. So we're going to start with, it says essential question, what do the three interior angles of a triangle sum to? So when we add them all up, how much does it come up to? And then how can I use this to solve for missing angle measurements? Okay, so I'm going to make sure I have red. The three interior angles of a triangle always sum to 180 degrees. Ooh, that's big. Let's fix that. So they're always going to equal 180 degrees when we add them up. So what that means, if I add angle A plus B plus C, I'm always going to get 180 degrees. Okay? We can use this fact to determine missing angle measures by adding, so we're always going to adding the given angles and setting them equal to 180 degrees. So we're going to write an equation and set it equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so let's look and see what that means. So if I look at problem 1, oops, I didn't mean to write here. So if I look at problem 1, and I want to make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Okay, I don't know what x equals, but I do know that, let's call this angle 1. Angle 1 is 36 degrees. Angle 2 is 108 degrees. And remember, we're going to add them because it says adding them up and setting them equal to 180 we can solve. We don't know angle 3. They've called it x. So it's the missing the unknown, the missing value that we don't know. But I know when I add them all up, they have to equal 180 degrees. So I'm going to combine like terms. 36 and 108 are constants, which means they're just regular numbers. They're on the same side of my equal sign. So I do what it says. So 108 plus 36. So let's see, 108, since you guys don't have calculators, and 36. 8 plus 6 is 14. 3 plus 1 is 4. So 144. So now I have 144 plus x equals 180. Now, 144 is a constant, and x is a variable. I can't add my constants and variables together because they're unlike terms. I can, however, solve for x by getting x alone. So I'm going to subtract 144 from the left side. 144 minus 144 is 0, which gives me x. I have to keep my equations balanced. So if I take 144 from the left side, I have to take it from the right side. Okay, so I'm going to regroup. That 0 is going to become a 10. 10 minus 4 is 6. My 8 is now a 7. 7 minus 4 is a 3. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So x equals 36. So now in order to check this, I am going to grab my phone as soon as I know what I did with it. Oh, okay. And I'm going to add all three sides now. And if I did it correctly, I'll get 180. So I'm going to take 36 because that's what we said x equaled. I'm going to add it to the 108. And then I'm going to add it to my other side that was also 36. And I did get 180. So that is correct. X does equal 36. Okay, so now number 2, we do exactly the same way, but we're going to skip and we're going to go to problem 3. Okay, because I want you to remember what this box means. So you should have learned that that box means that this is a 90-degree angle. Okay, so I have enough that I can still solve. So I'm going to go 56 because that's this angle here, plus the 90 degree, the right angle, plus x. And we know the sum of all three has to equal 180 degrees. So 56 and 90 are constant, so I can add those together. So I'm going to do 56 plus 90. 6 plus 0 is 6. 9 plus 5 is 14. So I have 146 plus x equals 180. Again, I'm going to balance my equation. I'm going to minus 46 from both sides. This cancels out, and I'm left with x. Okay, again, I have to regroup. So 10 minus 6 is 4. 7 minus 4 is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0. So x equals 34. So again, I'm going to check my work to make sure that it's correct. So 34 for x plus 56 plus our 90, and it does equal 180 degrees. So we always want to add them back and make sure we get 180. If we get 180, then we're good. Okay, now I'm going to look at problem 5. Problem 5 looks a little bit different because it's 7x. Instead of having constants, we have coefficients. It's okay, we're still going to add them up, and the sum's still going to be 180. So I'm going to go 7x plus 5x plus 3x equals 180. I don't have any constants. They're all coefficients, and they all have the same variable. That means we can add them all together. 7x plus 5x equals 12x. So I have these two I put together. Plus 3x equals 180. 12x plus 3x equals 15x equals 180. So first I did 7x plus 5x and got my 12x. I then did 12x plus 3x and got 15x. Okay, now, instead of subtracting, I know that this coefficient is next to x. It means multiplication. We always do the opposite. So instead of multiplying, we're going to divide both sides by 15. So I'm going to do 180 divided by 15, and x equals 12. Now, the way I could check it is I could plug 12 into all of these. So 7 times 12, 3 times 12, and I should end up with 180. So 3 times 12, I think, is 36. So 3 times 12, yeah. So this is 36. 7 times 12 is 84. 5 times 12, and you don't have to check it. If it was a test, I would. Now I'm going to add 60 plus 84 plus 36, and I do get 180. So my value of x is 12. Okay, I'm going to go on down again, and I'm going to go to problem 7, because again, this looks a little bit different. They gave me a whole expression for angle G. They were not very nice. But remember that my rule, it's actually called the angle sum theorem, is that if I add up all my measurements, all three measurements, I'll get 180 degrees. Okay, so it doesn't matter if I'm adding constants, if I'm adding variables, if I'm adding variables and expressions, whatever I add has to equal 180. So we're going to add all of our sides and set it equal to 180. Okay, so I'm going to start with G. So I know that G is 5x plus 24. So I'm going to say 5x plus 24 plus H is 4x plus J is 4x. Remember, we're adding everything. And all together, the sum has to equal 180. Okay, now I'm going to put like terms together. I can't add 5x plus 24 because one of them has a variable and one of them doesn't. But I can add 4x plus 4x, which gives me 8x, and the whole thing still equals 180. I can then add my 5x plus my 8x. So I'm going to move that so we can see what it is I'm adding. So all I did was swap my 8x and my 24x. 5x plus 8x is 13x plus 24 equals 180. Again, I can't add 13x and 24 because one has a variable and one doesn't. Therefore, this is an equation. To solve for my variable, I'm going to do the opposite. So this is just like one of our math review problems. Instead of adding 24, we're going to subtract 24. So I end up with 13x equals, I'm going to regroup here. That's 10 minus 4, which is 6, 7 minus 2, which is 5, 1 minus 0, which is 1. I'm then going to divide both sides by 13. So 13 divided by 13 is 1, which leaves me x. And then I have 156 divided by 13, which gives me 12. Okay, so I now know x is 12. I now have to plug it back in to find out what the other, the actual angles are. So 4 times x, x is 12, so 4 times 12. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 1 is 4, so angle H is going to be 48. Angle J is also going to be 48 because it's also 4x. I'm then going to do 5 times 12 because x equals 12 plus 24. So 5 times 12 is 60. 60 plus 24 gives me 84. Okay, so now I'm going to add all these angles up, and if we did it right, we should end up with 180 because my interior angles have to equal 180. So 84 plus 48 plus 48 gives me 180. So I know that I did it correctly. Okay, you have 4 problems now that you're going to do. As long as you are working quietly and doing your work, you may work with a partner. If the sub says no, then it's because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. I've left the answer sheet, so once you've done them, you can go up to the sub and have the sum checked to see if you did it correctly. Whatever you do not finish is homework. You have plenty of time that you should be able to finish. And I will see you guys on Monday.